Welcome everyone to the Road to One, where we get to hear the stories of different real estate investors and how they got to their first deal. Today we have Evelyn Garcia. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here. And thank you for asking me to come on board.
Yeah, I appreciate your
I'm
willingness to come
excited.
on. Yeah, this will be fun. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what your strengths are, what you enjoy doing?
Okay, so a little bit about myself. I am from Brooklyn, New York, and I decided to go into real estate investing in 2018. Um, Now my strength is being a TC, transaction coordinator. I just like over the years, I just kept on learning and learning a lot of knowledge of how to close the most creative transactions. And also I learned that I'm actually a helper. I like to help people succeed. I always been like that leader of like I want to see other people succeed before I succeed. So that's something that like really like brought me into the transaction coordination um avatar just doing TC work, and I've been doing it for about 2 years now. We close uh way over 100 deals, maybe up to 200 now. Yeah, I'm just excited.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about what a transaction coordinator does?
Mhm. Yeah. A lot of people get it confused of like transaction coordinators as being attorneys. We are definitely not attorneys. We do not draft or just or even input like even like if you give us a template,
Mhm.
we can't do any documents for you. And we do not close, like we don't clear title. So what do we actually do? We are the coordinators. We coordinate everything. We open escrow for you. We find the right attorney or title company to close your deal. Some title companies don't like creative whatsoever, or some actually knows the basics and they could do like a subject to transaction, but then they have other um transactions that is more complex, and you just have to find the right one and have the right connections. So we coordinate that, we coordinate inspections, we speak with the seller, we speak with the buyer and try to get all the documents that is needed to get a successful closing. And not only that, we are just like the second pair of eyes. We look at everything, um, or the closing documents. With a lot of people, just like go into closing with a blind eye, stack of papers, have no idea what they're reading or what they're signing. So we look at all of that stuff before you go ahead and sign. Um, just make sure that the HUD is correct too as well, that the financials, the statement of the closing is right, that you're going to be sending the right amount or getting the right amount back at closing. Those are the little tasks that we do, and we probably do so much more, but
Mhm.
the whole escrow process, that's what we do.
One thing I just appreciate about transaction coordinators is the fact that they'll go through the paperwork and you'll make sure that everything is correct. Because as soon as I used to hate, well, I still hate it, but doing paperwork, as soon as I would open a Word document to start filling out, I would start getting sleepy and just disinterested. So I definitely appreciate what the transaction coordinators do.
Yeah, it's definitely detail oriented. I reading these documents, especially it's like I feel like I'm an attorney so far. It's like the language too as well. Like, you have to be able to read the
Mhm.
language of these documents. That right there is a task of itself to know what is actually being written. Mhm.
Yeah, and as a transaction coordinator, you get to see all these different types of deals and how they're structured. I'm sure you get to
Yeah.
learn a ton that way.
Oh, yes. It's definitely the beginning of stages of transaction coordination. I learned so much, and I obviously, while you're learning, you learn from failures and mistakes.
Yeah.
We're done. So I'm not gonna deny that in my beginning of my journey when I find out like, oh, transaction coordination I want to do, but I was like, I didn't even know what the transaction coordinator was actually, because my
Mhm.
partner was the one that came to me, was like, you should be a TC. I was like, what the heck is a TC?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know what a TC was. But and then he just started throwing clients at me without even trying to like have a system in place and all that stuff. But it was a learning process. So forgive me for any of my earliest clients, but they're still with me. So glad.
Yeah, that we learn by doing
Learning.
is
Hmm.
yeah, how all of us get started.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about where you were in life when you decided to get into real estate or become a TC.
Okay. So when I started um real estate was in 2018, in September 2018. And the reason why I decided to jump right into it is because actually it's a cool story for me.
Hmm.
I went to Costa Rica in March 2018 and I went bungee jumping. I was there with my sister and my sister was didn't want to do it with me. So I was like I was there by myself. So right after that jump, I just felt like exhilarated. Like I could do anything I want in this in this planet on this planet. And so I figured I was like I have to do something else for my life. I was on the same job. Um, you know, back then was maybe 18. Yeah, it was like 18 years. I left the company when 21 years into the company when I went full time in real
Hmm.
estate. And but that's why I decided to go into real estate. I was like, this is what I want to do. I'm just gonna jump right into it. I had that mindset that I could just do whatever comes my way. Um, so it it was a very, very difficult journey. Um, Coming from a person that really didn't have much. I come with a background of I'm Dominican, not that many entrepreneurs in my family. Um, I was working in a storage company as the manager. I just had that W-2 mindset. So it was a challenge. But look at me now. And just like 2018, I have a and nationwide transaction coordination company. We have properties in Philadelphia. We have properties in North Pennsylvania, and we just keep growing. And you just have to have that mindset of just never giving up, no matter what, because that's when you fail. Like so many people come into real estate
Hmm.
and they just give up. And but if you don't ever give up, no matter what you go through, you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into real estate. And the way I decided that it's going to be real estate, it was like, of course, social media had
Mhm.
this like educational program, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump right into it. It was the most well, besides my college degree, it was like the most expensive program that I got into. It was $50,000, and um, but I felt like you know what it did not matter how the cost of it or if the program was not gonna fail. Like it didn't deliver because
Mhm.
I had in mindset this isn't about them, it's about me. It's like I am going to succeed no matter what. And and it was hard, it was difficult. I went um nearly almost bankrupt. I since I was working in a storage unit, I decided, but it did happen because of COVID. They were deciding, okay, we're gonna have to probably close down our facilities, but we're gonna probably have to have someone on site. I said, okay, I take, I'll stay on site. I have nothing to do, and I was like, okay, I stayed on site, but it was going to be 1 to 2 years, like 1 to 2 months, and it came out to be a year and a half later. But I enjoyed it because you know why? Because I had all my like I didn't have any bills to pay. So all my money was going into marketing. Every single cent I had went into marketing.
So
Um,
let's
mhm.
back up for a second. You said
Yes.
you were in a W-2 and then you had to go through a lot of mindset changes. I mean, leading up to that life-changing moment when you were bungee jumping, did you have desire to get into something else or were you just like happy with where you were at?
No, I was not happy where I'm at because I just didn't have anything. I was stuck in the same route of just doing the same thing over and over again.
Hmm.
There were hours of just like not doing anything because I just like knew what I was doing at my job. So I was doing my job in like 5 minutes, and then the rest of the day I was just doing anything. I felt like I was, yeah. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people resonate with
Hmm.
like going to a W-2, like dead end job. I was not moving anywhere.
Got it. And so the bungee jumping is just kind of what pushed you over the edge.
Yes, it sure did. Because it just gave me that I don't know, it's just that I could do anything. And plus I turned 40 that year too as well. So once you get over into like a certain age, you
Hmm.
also start getting feeling stronger. You're like or like knowing yourself and your limits of what you could do.
Hmm.
Um with some people, like especially well, all the people that I know that once they start hitting that age limit of 40, they
Yeah.
just know themselves. They know what they like. They know what they want. They know what they don't like. So yeah, that was where I was at that time.
Yeah, I think that's something that's super underrated, which is really getting to know who you are, what you're good at, and what you enjoy doing. Because once you can
Hmm.
figure those things out, it makes your path through anything much easier because you already know you can already eliminate 90% of the things out there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so then after
Mm.
bungee jumping, you go through, and then why did you pick real estate? I mean, outside
Okay.
of
So
social media.
yeah. Well, I was the property manager at the storage, and I did have a building maintenance certificate, and also my father was a contractor. Um, so from since I was born, I saw him, you know, redeveloping even like 10 apartment units from to top to bottom. So that's what I grew up in. Um, and my sister was also an electrician. So it was something like it was in our not in all of us because this six brothers and sisters. So not all of us went into that down that route, but um I felt like it was in my blood that I needed to fix and flip. That's what I wanted it to do, fix and flip. And that's where my first profit deal came from. Was my first fix and flip.
Okay, so let's go through that. How did you even determine that that was the deal you bought was actually a deal?
Was actually a deal.
Yeah.
Um, that's one thing too as well. Like you got to know your market. Um, I went from living in Brooklyn. I also didn't have the mindset to either because I was living in Park Slope. So there's so many brownstones, and I didn't have the mindset of thinking that I could be successful here. This is over my head. Like I couldn't do business here. So I went from Brooklyn to New Jersey. I had a lot of family in New Jersey, and I started marketing, and that's where all my money went into to marketing. But I didn't know the area as much. So there was a couple of deals that I lost because I didn't know the market. Um, and then just knowing that the location where this house was, which was in Woodhaven, Queens, and I lived in Queens for about 15 years, I knew that this was a deal. The minute that they told me what the price, what they wanted, I was like, I'm on it. They wanted 525. This was a two-family house in Woodhaven, Queens, in the middle of Queens, like even borderline of Brooklyn. It was just a fantastic area. Houses, two-family house there was almost $1 million, and I sold it for 986.
Wow. How
Yeah,
much work did it take to get it up to?
I put we yeah we that's another thing too as well. I think I could probably have done better if
Mhm.
I just did like a retail. Like just go in there, clean it up, maybe paint, and just keep it moving. But
Yeah.
since that was my first flip, I wanted it to like impress everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Have like the nicest things and like, it just have it so beautifully staged, which it helped get me to the 986, but the profit margin, I think I probably would have like done maybe even better if I would have just like kept almost the house the way it is and just make it look pretty and just move fast.
Yeah.
Um, but I put 160,000 into it. And then all the other like closing fees and stuff like that came involved. Um, we profit about 100 grand.
I mean, that's really good on your first deal.
Yeah, for your first flip, yes. But it's just like I just kind of feel like if I would have just kept on like just because I bought it at 525 and I could have maybe sell it for 750,
Mhm.
800 and the
Yeah.
time limit, why do you put it went fast, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's something
No.
to think about it. People want to go into fix and flip. This is actually when you're first doing your first the the quicker you get in and out is the fastest. Don't try to show up. Just like this is a business. Keep going, keep moving fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that you learned a lot by doing a bigger project in the beginning and still making six figures off of that one project.
Yes, yes. Oh gosh, did I learn a lot. There's no education to me better than hands-on because I learned so much, even in the construction side of things and who to speak with. Because when we went into doing the renovations, um, there was a violation on the property. It was they have four apartments, which was a two family, but it's a history in New York City. Like in 1930 something, they were allowed to change the two family to a four family
Hmm.
without having any like paperwork. And then starting like in late 1970 or early 80s, they started, you know, going after those type of properties. But if you went through with it and nobody said anything, you'll be fine with a full family. So you're paying taxes for four family,
Hmm.
but it's originally a two family.
Yeah.
It's a crazy story. So I needed to change all the paperwork to have it as a two family because there was paying taxes as a four family. So I needed to have the DOB to come in to make sure that it is a legal two family. Um, we needed to reconvert the basement actually because the basement was one of those illegal apartments.
Hmm.
We needed to take everything down. So it was interesting. I learned a lot going on there.
But it's okay. So they said that it was okay to convert a two-bedroom, a two family to a
So
four
too,
family, and then later on they
a
changed their
tax
mind,
reason because they wanted the four family taxes.
right? And then they changed their mind and then forced you as the new owner to go and fix the problem because they changed their mind,
They yes, because it was a legal two family
right? That sounds
on
ridiculous
paper.
to
Yeah,
me.
when
This
different.
is this is
Yeah.
why people stay away from New York and California.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's like when we closed on it, my attorney was like, "Yeah, this is very very normal." You'd be surprised how many private buildings out there that has the same situation. It's
Yeah.
like okay, fine, but yeah, that was one of the challenges that we had to deal with. And then my partner also was an interior designer, so she wanted everything to look so pretty. I was like, this is an investment. Let's just come on, let's move on.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that
But
balance, right?
yeah, yeah. But I love my partner. She's like my sister from another mother right now. Um, but yeah, yeah. And then architects and um that was a really heavy fee. It was about like $25,000 right off the back that I needed to pay the architect because we needed the plans to be approved by the DOB,
Hmm.
that stuff. Yeah.
Man, I mean,
Yeah.
it was just, at least you made 100 grand, right?
Yeah, yeah, right. Thank you.
After all that. So how did
After
you,
that find the deal? I think that's the question, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you found the deal. How did it come to you?
Okay, so very interesting. So I had like 2 years into trying to find a deal. I put all my money into marketing, and I did have a couple of houses on the contract in New Jersey.
Mhm.
One of them we were trying to do a short sale because he was underwater, and the other ones was just like I just got I believe I had like five, maybe six properties on the contract, and they were all pre-foreclosures. And guess what happened? COVID came. COVID came and everything just stopped. Or it's just like, and then all the homeowners just went into the vacation mode. We're not gonna, we're not gonna close now. We
Yeah.
could live here another 2 years or whatever for free.
Yeah.
Because they already had that mindset of like this house is going to foreclosure. It is what it is. And I was, that whole negotiation. No, I could help you. Let's make something work. So COVID started and was in the storage unit, and I was like, wow, rock bottom. I
Mm.
was like, what am I doing? I am broke. I'm living in a storage unit, and I have nothing to show for. I don't even have, yeah, I don't even have a relationship. I could die right here, and nobody will even know, unless until my family starts like, hey, we haven't heard from Evelyn for a month. Where is she? Like, like
Mhm.
I just had that rock bottom thing. Like, what am I going to do here? I was like, I was like, all right, Evelyn, you haven't dated for a couple of years. Um, why don't you go out there now? Try to see find a relationship. So I went into online dating, and I met this person that was from Texas, and he was here just to help his mother sell his house. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I buy houses, and I haven't bought any houses. This was my first deal. And I was like, yeah, I buy houses. I could help your mother. And so that's how I got my first deal. And it's just like it's so weird. It was nothing all the marketing that I did.
Yeah.
Um, but I could have done something, but COVID, interrupted my business. But that was my first deal, and that's how I got my first deal. I went online on dating, trying to meet somebody, and it came out to be like this person actually had a situation, and he was owning in New York, and he was stuck in New York
Yeah.
because he couldn't go back.
Mhm.
Um, and then we just became friends. We didn't get into any like romantic relationship. We just like, okay, once we figured out this is going to be like a business kind of relationship, then just going to buy his mother's property for her to move to Texas with him.
Yeah.
And that's how I found that first deal.
That is
It's a very bizarre way, but that's how I found my first deal.
that is hilarious. So we hear about, text messaging, mailers, but never online dating as a deal source.
Yeah, online dating. And I thought about it, I was like, oh my God, should I go back into online dating? I'm sure there's probably like some divorce guy there going to divorce. I need to sell their house or something. But I didn't do it. I was like, rather, it's just like it was not my it was just not ethical for me. I didn't feel
Yeah.
right. But that's
Well,
how I found my first deal.
that's an amazing story.
Hmm.
All right, so
Yeah.
we talked about how you evaluated. You just knew the market. You found it through online dating. And then what's the biggest mindset hurdle that you had to get over to get to that first deal?
Just never give up. Because I was really in that rock bottom. Like I didn't know what else to do. I was like, Evelyn, you've done everything possible. Like I you door knock every single weekend. You I didn't get into the texting because the texting got huge, like almost like in the mid of COVID because
Hmm.
everybody was staying home.
Yeah.
Um, and then um, I was just like that mindset is like, there's no way I'm gonna fail in this. I lost too much for me to just give up now. So that mindset of just never, I'm not a quitter. Just got to keep moving forward and just having faith too. Because if I didn't have faith, I would have never continued. Yeah.
That's a very cool story. I mean, to to make
I,
bungee jumping is the life-changing act, right? So if you're stuck, apparently the what you need to do is go bungee jumping in Costa Rica.
yeah, yeah.
So
Or if you feel like if you like so like an introvert. There's a lot of people like, oh, I'm an introvert. I don't like to do nothing. Or I'm scared. I'm scared.
Mhm.
Oh, go bungee jumping. That would definitely change your whole feelings and perspective of just like not doing anything.
You know what's so interesting is I used to think that I was an introvert as well. And then I guess it's just a change in perspective or a change in something, just doing something different in your life. Like if you want a different result, you have to just make different little tweaks in your life to change your path and just change your trajectory. And so yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I thought I was an introvert. I maybe I'm not now. I don't know. But this is I don't think introverts do this kind of stuff.
Well, yes, I still consider myself as an introvert. A lot of people say go to network meetings, to network meetings, and I've gone to hundreds of them, and I
Mhm.
still don't feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't feel comfortable whatsoever. It drains me, my energy. I wake up the next day like if a trunk run me over.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm just not my thing. I like this. What are you doing? I like the one-to-one person. Like, let's get to know each other.
Yeah, you know what? I'm very similar in that sometimes we'll have because we live near Disney World in Orlando, and so we'll have people come visit. And after they leave, I end up sleeping like 10 hours a night for the next couple of nights just because I'm just so drained. And same thing with the meetups too. Not a big fan of the meetups, but this is a lot more enjoyable than any meetup.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Likewise.
So, um, what's my question? Oh, no, knowing what you know now, what's some advice that you would give to your old self back then?
Um, I would say like mindset, definitely, because it's just I did when I went into I yes, I did good budget jumping. I did take that opportunity to go into real estate, but I still was like I still felt like I couldn't do this.
Mhm.
I even left my backyard of Brooklyn and I went to somewhere else because I thought it was just going to be easier. So I think that's like the number one thing. Like you have to have the right mindset that you're going to make this no matter what and don't be afraid. One thing that I would advise myself is like stay in your backyard first. Because I think if I would have just stayed in my backyard, I probably would have been a lot more successful probably renovating these beautiful brownstones and just and get that like mindset that I am smart enough, I am capable enough, I could do what other people are doing or have been doing. I could do it too. And you can. And you
Mhm.
can. So I think that's like the most powerful thing is like when you're going out there, it's like don't let yourself be the biggest roadblock too as well. Don't let that happen to you. Because if I, and then also just definitely stick to your backyard. Because one person knows who you are and where you at. They're gonna say, "Well, this lady over there is looking for to buy a house," and
Mhm.
everybody's gonna start getting to know you sooner or later, and you just start expanding. That's one thing that I definitely advise. I just you never know what's behind that door because that you could see a beautiful house, but inside it'd be a complete mess.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great advice. I mean, if you can figure out your own backyard, it makes life easier. And then also getting your own way. I mean, a lot of us. that's what we were doing in the beginning. We are just getting in our own way. Our mindset issues of, am I deserving? Do I deserve to have any kind of success? So very good points.
Yes.
Um, well, I this has been so much fun getting to know you and learning your story. How can people reach out to you and how can people work with you?
Well, TC wise, they could definitely go into our website. I could like TC if you have a deal or if you want to book a call, you could go into our website. You can also text us. That is a group text. We I 12 people now in the company. 516-788-8881. If you want to follow me on social media, my handle is Evelyn Garcia .0718.
Amazing. Well, thank you again. Do you have any
Mm-hmm.
parting words before we go?
Uh, no, just don't ever give up. That's all. Just keep going.
Yeah, you can't fail if you don't give up.
Yeah, yeah. Keep going, keep growing. Thank
Very cool. Well, thank you again. I appreciate you coming on with us.
you. Thank you. Thank you.